We have to talk about the story of the week, which is the Ohio officials release more body cam video of fatal police shooting of black teen and urge community to await the facts. Yes, you should await the facts. This comes from CNN.com, so you know it's legit. If you didn't hear, there was this gal, Ma'Khia Bryant, I think is how you pronounce her name. Ma'Khia Bryant. Did Ma'Khia Bryant need to die? How did we get here? This is a failure on the part of our community. Some are guilty, but okay. So we'll just watch this quick CNN clip rather than read the exact same thing in the article.
Hey.
So we're going to look at this as we go. Of course, you can't see it very well when I pause, but so the cops were called onto this scene, and this is Ma'Khia Bryant here in the black shirt and shorts. I don't know the names of the others, but the cop, to my understanding, just got out of the car here, and he's just approaching the scene. He was called. We're going to hear that later, but...
What's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey!
This lady gets shoved to the ground, and this gentleman is like kicking her in the head. I believe... I've heard that guy is actually Ma'Khia's father. I don't know the situation, and I'm going to wait for the facts to come out before saying anything on that, because if he was like getting attacked and they were in his home and he's trying to get them out, then yes, he has the right to push her away and kick her away or whatever. I don't really know the situation on that end. What we do know is what's happening back here in the background, which is Ma'Khia, it would seem, wielding a knife in the process of attempting to stab a black woman. Now, you can read whatever article you want. I'm going to tell you my headline in this story. A cop saved the life of an unarmed black woman in an incident in a attempted stabbing incident, right?
It all happened in...
She's you can't see it very well in this video, but you can look it up. There are better angles or better croppings than CNN is providing here. She's got the knife there, and she's holding it in like a stabbing motion toward the lady in the pink. Now, I'm going to try and make as few jokes as possible because this is tragic, and I don't like that. I don't even like... I'm not a fan of the death penalty even. I don't even like when a murderer gets killed. I would prefer that if somebody is a terrible person, if they're so bad that they would even stab somebody, I would prefer that they go get locked up and get rehabilitated. I'm not a fan of the death penalty because I don't trust the state to make the decisions of life and death. However, if you take the badge off this guy, still justified, in my opinion. He potentially saved the life of the woman in the pink. If you're wearing an all-pink jumpsuit, just know that you have it coming. You might deserve to be stabbed. No. The cop saved this person, in my opinion, from my understanding, from what I know now. It's kind of like the George Floyd thing, though. It's like I watched the video of the George Floyd thing, and I was like, there's no other way to interpret this. Clearly, that cop murdered the guy in cold blood in front of everybody, and that is a tragedy. I did an entire episode on it way back when, and more evidence might come out to this that proves me wrong on this one, too. But from what I know now, on April 22nd at 12:03 p.m., it seems pretty clear she deserved to get shot. And it really sucks because you can't just throw some cuffs on her when she's in the swinging motion attempting to stab somebody. That could have been a fatal stabbing. We don't know, but the cop saved a black woman. So this has nothing to do with race, guys. Stop pretending.
Seconds, a police officer opens fire, shooting and killing 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant as police say she lunged at someone with a knife.
Ma'am, you need to talk to me.
We got these grown girls over here trying to fight us.
trying to stop us, trying to put her hands on our grandma. Get her now.
City officials.
So they said, if you couldn't understand, she said, you got these grown girls over here trying to fight us, trying to stab us, trying to put her hands on our grandma. Get here now. I've heard some people say that the voice is from the gal, what's her name? I'm sorry, Micaiah. Or Micaiah, I think it is. There are some people saying that that is the voice of Micaiah, but that doesn't really make sense. If she's the one who called the cops, why was she, when the cops pulled up, why wasn't she running over seeking help? Why wasn't she saying, hey, guys, this person was trying to stab me and I got the knife from them? If, like, that's the only way that this can be her voice, is if she got the knife from the other person who was making the call. Because we can see she's trying to stab the other gal. I'm guessing it's probably the other gal who made the phone call to begin with. The motivation is the big question mark for me, and what the incident was leading up to this. It's not, I don't believe that it was this girl is just a murderer and she was running, or she came to them brandishing a knife and just started trying to kill people. Obviously, there was more to the story than that, and I am interested. We need to some extent, we need to wait and find out more before we jump to too many conclusions. But again, I'm only reporting on what I'm witnessing here with the evidence given now.
City officials also released extended body camera footage from the officer who shot Bryant. Columbus police identified as Nicholas Reardon. As seen on his body cam video, when Reardon arrives, he quickly gets out of his patrol car and runs toward a group in a driveway of a home. That's when Micaiah Bryant moves toward another person, appearing to push her to the ground. Reardon can be heard shouting to get down, and that's when the girl appears to lunge at another female in pink.
I think I'm wrong. Okay. So I said that the girl that was standing next to the girl in pink, I don't know. It's hard to make out who's who, but Micaiah, I don't think, was the person at the beginning. Just to clarify, I don't want, anybody freaking out because I gave the wrong information.
The officer shouts to get down several times, then fires his gun. 4 shots.
Yeah, he gave her like 3 or 4 warnings. Get down, get down, get down, get down. And then he shoots her 4 times. Bang, 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 bang. And prevented her from stabbing somebody. Now, we're going to jump forward to the mother of... They say that Micaiah was a foster child, and which... that makes me even more sad about this thing, because I work with foster kids, and I know the trouble, I know the trauma that they go through, I know the shit that they have to deal with, and it is awful, and it does a number on your mental state that does not justify a stabbing, and that doesn't negate justification on defending somebody who's about to be stabbed. It doesn't. But it makes me even more sad.
Who Bryant appears to lunge towards spoke to officers.
That's what the police did.
That lady on the floor?
She came after me.
With a knife?
Yeah, so he got her.
That's when Micaiah Bryant moves toward another person, appearing to push her to the ground. Reardon can be heard shouting to get down.
Micaiah is the one who shoved the girl down, it looks like, and then the dad comes to kick her, and then Micaiah runs over. So she's on a rampage. Like, it wasn't Micaiah. I thought it was Micaiah watching the thing happen between this other gal and her dad, and then attempted the stabbing. But no, she ran, shoved this person. Her dad tried to kick her, and then she runs over toward this girl in pink.
And the girl appears to lunge at another female in pink.
She rears up. Like, there's a lot of news articles that are saying, oh, she was just holding a knife. Holding a knife. If somebody was holding a knife, that like this, toward, like, I know you're all still just audio listeners and you're doing yourself a disservice, but if somebody's, like, swinging a knife towards you, look, I don't care if you're a cop or not. You have the right to defend somebody who you see who's about to get stabbed.
Bryant was in foster care in the county. Her mother, Paula Bryant, spoke to TV station WBNS.
She was a very loving, peaceful little girl. She promoted peace.
She promoted peace. Now, I'm not going to go with the obvious joke there and say that she wasn't promoting peace at that time. I'm going to go with something even more important to point out here. The people in George Floyd's case say you can't talk about things that he did in the past. You can't bring up past things. Like, you're not supposed to talk about how he, shoved a gun into a pregnant woman's stomach or had a problem with drugs. Those don't matter because he was getting his shit together. He was turning his life around, which doesn't seem to really be the case, but that doesn't really matter. Point being, people keep saying you can't bring up the past because you have to judge the person on what happened then and there. And that goes both ways. That goes both ways. And that's part of the problem that I have with the Derek Chauvin thing, too. Tie some of this together, is that I've seen a lot of libertarians, it seems like, they're saying justice was served. He didn't commit murder in cold blood. But justice was served because he has a bad track record. And so he's getting his justice now. Okay, but what about that whole thing about not judging people by the past? I don't know. But the mother here, and it is tragic, it sucks a whole lot, and God, I can't imagine something like that happening to children that I love very much, that are close to me and in the foster care system. That kills me to even think about. But at the same time, what was the cop supposed to do? You can't de-escalate the situation in that case without doing what he did. You can't taser her because that's not going to stop the swing. And you can't taser her because that's probably not even going to work. You got one shot and it's less likely to hit. You got people saying, oh, he could have shot the knife out of her hand, or he could have shot her in the leg, or he could have let off a warning shot. First things first. I don't know much about guns. I'm not like a huge gun nut. I have some guns, but and I know how to use them, and I know enough to know you don't fire off a warning shot ever, because you fire off that warning shot, you are responsible for whatever comes out of that barrel and wherever it goes and whoever it goes through to get there. You do not fire off a warning shot. You do not shoot somebody in the leg or the arm, because we're not all John Wick or Neo. Not even the cops. Like, one of the biggest issues here is that people put these cops in such high regard, even if they hate the cops, even if they think they're awful, even the all cops are bastards people. They put the cops in such high regard that they think that there's some sort of superhuman who can, who has the ability to shoot a knife out of somebody's hand. In the very rare instance that you need to shoot somebody to neutralize a threat, there's only one option. And it's not pretty. That's why we don't encourage people stabbing people. Because you might get shot. And it sucks. But, people put these cops in such high regard. They hold them up as heroes. Like, you've got the right who hold up cops as though they're heroes and they're all superheroes and they can do no wrong. And we should always applaud the cops. I'm certainly not that. But you've got the other side saying, oh, they should be trained for 20 years until they're expert marksmen so that they can shoot knives out of hands or what have you, or use their superhuman abilities to talk somebody off a ledge when they're in the process of mid-swing stabbing somebody. If what I am perceiving is the truth, then all these news articles or news outlets should be reporting on this in the positive. Or at least in, why doesn't CNN talk about the fact that she was in the process of trying to kill somebody, allegedly, potentially, even if that wasn't her intent? That was what was going on there, it seems. How come CNN doesn't even mention that? Is it because if it bleeds, it leads? Is it because it's more favorable to say white cop shoots black woman who just happened to be holding a knife? How about white cop saved black woman in the attempted stabbing? Again, I don't enjoy this stuff. It makes me sad.